Hi guys, how is everyone doing? Great stuff. It's been a while, but I'm here to do another breakdown. We are definitely going to be consistent now, and I just want us to look at gold and see where gold is at the moment. And then once we map, we'll be able now to determine if we can take long positions or short positions. Also, we can also decide whether we can swing trade or we can scalp. But basically, what you need to do is, first of all, you need to map your charts and know where price is at. So without wasting time, we'll get right into it. So from what I can see so far, I can see the highest level, which is here, the all-time high. Okay. But you see, for me, I want to really be very precise with where I want to enter and where price is going. Okay, so I usually start from the higher time frame, which is the weekly time frame. All right, then drop it to daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, then we go as far as 5 minutes and 1 minute for us who are scalping. Okay, so in this case, we are now just going to map the most interesting areas. Okay, so if we can see that that's the highest level gold has gotten to, okay, which is 3,500. Okay, so that's the highest level price has gotten to at the moment. Now I can see that price has been pushing up. How do I know that price is pushing up? You can see there's more bulls than bears. So this is the high, the low, higher low, then higher low. Okay, so this is the immediate higher low. Okay, that's the highest level. Okay, so far we are anticipating that if gold decides to continue to go to the upside, then it has to take out this high here, which is the all-time high. All right, so um, the fact that I've seen all those things, I can now begin to break it down for you guys. Okay, I can see that price created a high here and then failed to take out this high. All right, so therefore we have a lower high at the moment. Okay, then I can now take note of this um, low here, higher low, higher low. Okay, so we can now also look at where price is currently at. So this is where we are. So if, as you can see, right now price has been pushing in a range. Okay, so in most cases, a typical pattern trader, you can simply say price can create a breakout to the upside, knowing that we're trying to look at price going to the upside. So if price decides to do this, okay, then we can anticipate that price can take out that high, then continue to go to the upside. All right. So basically, price has to break this pattern here going to the upside. All right. But that's not the reason for us to literally just look at going for buys, because we can already see that price is pushing to the upside. Then from here, I can now focus on this level. All right. So in between the all-time high, I also have now this other key level here. So for me, I'm just marking the most interesting areas I want to really take note of before I do anything in the markets. Okay, so this is now our weekly, we're going to say that's our weekly OB. Okay, so if price comes back, well and good. We'll focus on looking at this level here. So it is a very good potential for price to come back before it continues. That is, if it breaks this pattern here, it comes down here, tap into that order block, then we wait and see what price gets to do from there. So we just get to mark these important areas, okay? So that is definitely our demand zone. That is our demand zone, okay? From the higher time frame, of course. So we are not necessarily going to trade the entire block. but it is simply an area for us to take note of. All right, it is an area for us to take note of. Mhm. Okay, so other than that, there's what we also use for us who are into shadow codes. That is the weekly open. Okay. Well, if you join our team, you will now understand why we get to also mark these areas. It's for shadow entries. All right. So that's a weekly open. That's where price opened from when it started going to the upside with this candle. Right. Then from here, I'll be able now to go into um, this space here. Okay. So in as much as we know, we have this space, I can see that price created liquidity. Okay. Price has liquidity down here. So this is like from the higher time frame. So we are just marking these areas because we want to know if price gets to that area, we'll know what has to happen. Then I can also see a QML level here. Okay. That's a QML level, something we can take note of. Then I can see another weekly open here. Weekly open on this level here in line with the QML. Therefore, if price decides to come down here, this will be a very important level to take note of. All right. So that's what I can see down here. But of course, I can see another open here, weekly open. Another weekly open from here. The latest we can work with. Okay. Then up here, I can see another beautiful QML level on top here, in line with the open for this candle here when it was dropping. So this becomes a very important supply zone. That becomes a very important supply zone for us because it has two things. It has a shadow code pattern, and at the same time, that's a pure supply zone. Okay. So that is a supply zone. Take note of the supply zone. So these are more like stations. The way I look at the markets is like a train is heading somewhere, but before it gets to one town, it has to maybe stop by several stations. So this is basically how I personally look at it. So right now, if you can really look at what's happening, price reacted from this level here. This is why we're having price reacting from this level, because from the higher time frame, this is what we're calling a hidden base. Okay, supply zone, hidden base. Okay, so for now, that's what we can see from the higher time frame. And of course, we do have an imbalance down here if price ever comes back. If price ever comes back. So at this point, we go into now the daily. Okay. So that now gives us a different perspective. All right. Gives us a different perspective. From the daily, you can see now that's indecision candle where price is reacting from. Okay. Then we also have the same weekly level in line with the daily level here. All right. Which makes it a very good area of interest. Okay. We also have the all-time high. And we still remember, we're still having higher lows. Okay, so we're going to the upside. So at this point in time, we're anticipating for price to really push to the upside. Okay, so at this point in time, I can't see much from the daily time frame. So except that I can now be able to go into the lower time frame like the 4 hour. All right. So this is now the 4 hour time frame. So focus on this area here. Okay. So you see, this is where price is reacting from. Okay. Reacted second time here. Therefore, the nearest long-term buy, definitely we can look at that area, but it means it has taken out this trend line, which is pushing to the upside. Therefore, we have to be very careful in terms of executing, okay? So this is a very good area. We can also look at from the higher time frame already, okay? All right. So we can mark this area here. That becomes an area of demand. That becomes an area of demand. So that is demand zone. Okay, that's demand zone. And there's liquidity down here. So in as much as we are looking at this demand zone, we still have liquidity down here. So price at the moment, like we said, it's ranging, so it's very difficult. Okay, so this is a mitigated supply zone. Okay, it's mitigated. So if price decides to push to the upside, it will not hold. Okay, it will not hold. So now, at this point in time, we just have to now wait and see what price will do. Okay, but of course, anything that has to do with buying at this level, I wouldn't want to go for this level. The reason is simple. We have liquidity. So if at this point in time, if I'm now going to look at it from the scalper's perspective, okay, of course I can wait and see how price reacts from there, from this level. If I'm to really take this opportunity, then I want to see price do something like this, give us a confirmation, then start to push to the upside. So once we see something like this from the lower time frame, if price holds from this level before it gets to down here, then we can look at buying to push to the upside. But this is a confirmation pattern that one has to look at. In the meantime, if I'm to now look at possible scalping, it means from this level here, if price decides to break this medium midterm trend line, then we can begin to look at selling. If price breaks, then we can wait for price to tap into that trend line, then sell to this buy. Okay, sell. It's a sell to buy. Okay, but like you can see right now, price is already reacting, trying to push to the upside. So at this point in time, we just have to wait and see what price will do. again, from the lower time frame, I can look at the QML from the lower time frame before it proceeds to the upside. We can simply say that's a QML in the lower time frame. So price can react from there before it continues to this ultimate supply zone up here. But nevertheless, if anything, price can still take out, once it takes out these two levels here, expect, if price decides to do this, expect price to come back, bounce off the same level, then continue and go all the way up there. So this is personally how I get to approach the markets. And so far, this is what we can see. Okay, we're so much ranging and price really reacted well from this level here, pushing to the upside. Okay, so again, like I said, if price comes back on this level, it can react, but remember, this has created liquidity and there's an open down here, which is a more probable area for me to get into the markets. All right, so this is basically how I get to map my charts. And at this point in time, I will be able to just watch the markets and see how they get to move. Okay, see how they get to move. All right, guys. Thanks for your time. We'll definitely give you another update and see how price will move from this point in time. All right, thanks.